Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the first qualifier of LevelFox's The Showdown with City of Cape Town and sponsored by Cell C. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm very excited for the action ahead of us, but just as excited for this moment right here. I'm joined by the man himself, Mike Ultraism. How are you doing?
Dude, I can't stop grinning right now. Like, the whole way through your intro, I'm like, yeah, let's do this. Like, this is Rocket League. This is South African Rocket League at its best. We've got the top 3 teams in the country right now who have fought against each other and really started to develop this beautiful rivalry sitting at the top of the ladder, coming up for an amazing prize, 25,000 Rand up for grabs, and a trip to the first LAN in South Africa in years, literally.
Yeah, I mean, it's a huge opportunity for these teams, and I can't wait to see them IRL in Cape Town. If you guys want to be a part of that action, make sure you head over to LevelFox's site and check out those tickets. They are getting gobbled up there absolutely free for those spectators, and there's going to be a whole bunch of goodies for you to be able to get your hands on. But talking about things to get your hands on, these teams are essentially waiting in the lobby, rubbing their hands together, making sure that they're keeping warm, because there's essentially a qualification opportunity for 2 teams out of the 3 here today. Let's have a look at that schedule, and maybe if you can break it down, Mike, what we're looking at.
Oh, this is what we're really getting to. The top 2 teams from this qualifiers already qualify for that Cape Town LAN. That means we've got our winners bracket finals first up. Pirates XD versus Bravado. The winner of this instantly goes through to that grand finals, gets the advantage of a bracket reset, and most importantly, qualifies for Cape Town straight away. Massive matchup coming up between Pirates XD and Bravado. The loser is not out of it though. They go down to the losers final and they have to fight it out against Atomic, who is waiting there for that second spot. The winner of that losers bracket final does manage to go back to the grand finals, does secure themselves a spot towards Cape Town, and the loser of the loser finals gets another chance in our second qualifier. They're not out of it completely, but man, you want to get in soon at the beginning because of that seeding value of coming out at the top.
100%. The pressure will just keep on compounding when we go into that second qualifier. You still have an opportunity if you haven't signed up to that just yet. But thank you, Mike, for setting the standard or setting the outline for us here today going into this match. Does look like we have the teams pretty much ready and set, and it is going to be 15,000 Rand in prize pool. Or rather, actually, I'm lying to you. It's 25,000 Rand in prize pool that they're going to be fighting their way through for those qualification opportunities. We'll do the breakdown for you in just a bit, but it does look like the teams are ready. So without further ado, how about we get ready to jump on board with our winners bracket final?
I'm excited for this. Bravado versus Pirates XD is now setting up to be that real qualification, that real derby of South African Rocket League. These 2 teams are at the top. They're both playing consistently well. There's a real tussle between back and forth in them. We'll get into some of their previous games recently. This one, they're playing out for a minimum already of 3,000 Rand. I mean, the winner of this matchup, this is a best of 5 that we're going into. 3 games gets you a minimum of 3,000 Rand and a tickets to Cape Town right now. And if I wanted 2 teams to match up and one of them guaranteed to go through, it would be these 2 teams in South Africa.
100%. And when it comes down to Bravado and Pirates, I mean, we have a little bit of a rivalry, right, Mike? I mean, you gave me a lovely introduction talking about the RLCS as well. Obviously, a massive tournament going on in South Africa at the moment. A little bit of foreshadowing of what we can expect here today.
Well, history is a very strong motivator at this stage. Pirates XD are looking so good from that. They've matched up now in 2 regional qualifiers for RLCS and have come out victorious pretty much unanimously in both of them. They have already qualified for the wildcard slot in the RLCS itself. And every time these 2 teams come up against each other, it looks so good. Bravado being able to pick up the early goal here, just under a minute in here. Really nice touch from Happy Meal. Looking for Daisy. Daisy baits out Darth, though, and leaves the goal wide open for Happy Meal.
There we go, and Bravado off to a little bit of a flying start. So 4 minutes, 10 seconds in. But Mike, you're painting that picture so eloquently. And going into this game, would you say that there's a favorite of the bracket, Bravado taking on Pirates?
Yeah. At this stage, there's no way you can deny the history that's come out here. In the last 3 years, Pirates XD do not lose in important games in South Africa. They have not dropped the grand finals in 3 years, and they're looking really good. They've just recently swapped out Sorry, that action there in front of the net, nearly getting Orlando Pirates back on. But they've just recently swapped out CP Zebra into their coaching role, picked up the incredibly talented Skill Steel, who's one of the few certified SSLs in the country. And so, you know, this is a team that's always been strong and just seems to have gotten stronger. Not to say Bravado not improving in leaps and bounds, and they managed to hold on to this 1-goal lead for so long already.
Yeah, I mean, 3 minutes in, and it's already a little bit back and forth between the two. So going into Pirates, the XD story with Pirates, I mean, it's one of the teams that has actually stuck around for quite some time and have some amazing achievements on their side. So definitely one of the teams that we have to watch out for, and one of the favorite ones going into what might be, whoever wins this, yes, the qualifiers, or at least that finals in Cape Town.
Honestly, I would say at this stage, Pirates are coming in as the favorites for that grand finals for the entire tournament. They've looked... they've had weaknesses, let's say, in the past. They are able to be capitalized upon. We see a very near attempt coming out from Bravado in this opportunity, and just not managing to get it past the last defender, but still good control from Bravado. And this is the thing, Pirates are the favorites, but they are still competitors. It's just... at this stage, you've got LAN experience. I think it's the only actual formulated team with LAN experience on most of their players. You've got Zebra, who's been to basically every LAN in the country leading their charge. And so you can imagine this is a team that's going to hold out and just maintain any sort of pressure that you bring against them.
100%. So now taking a look, ooh, a good shot coming in there, but unfortunately for Darth, that one's not going to be able to find the back of the net. So crossing back to the action, I mean, we're sitting down with 2 minutes left on the clock. Still anybody's game, and at the moment, Daisy's trying to do his utmost to keep Bravado essentially extended on the lead.
This is amazing, though. Orlando Pirates are definitely still back in this. There's 1 goal on the board. That can come even after the buzzer. But Bravado's using that amazing skill coming in. Happy Meal so confident in the air to die for, setting up really mechanical plays, means that there's always this lurking threat of Bravado just snatching the game away completely, getting up a 2-goal lead in these dying minute and a half. To die for sets up another shot, actually going to go back up for the setting it up right there. Happy Meal looking for the pinch, doesn't really have the boost to go, but keeping it out of real danger for Orlando Pirates to turn this around.
So having a look at the setup these days, I mean, a huge opportunity right now is to dive for, actually doubles the lead there for Bravado. So once again, is this a tale of Pirates starting slow, or is this a tale of Bravado learning the lessons from the past? We're going to have to wait and see. The story still yet to be told. 1 minute left on the clock, but one of the things that I want to chat to you about, Mike, positional placement has been quite a big thing when it comes down to Rocket League and its evolution over the years. These days, are we seeing much more dynamic placement? Nobody's set at a specific spot. Are we just making sure that the rotations are the key factor? What is going through these teams at this high level of play?
So the weird thing is, in South Africa, we've got a very unique meta, which the international guys have all been commenting on. It's basically a wave. You come forward with a good positioning, a decent clear sets you up as the team to push forwards and then try and capitalize on it. You never overextend, you never dump all your boost and charge all 3 of you into the corner or bunch up, but you give yourselves that ownership of possession, ownership of ground, that you then work around, start putting together some passing plays like Snowy tries to pick up from Darth, and then everyone retreats. Now you see Skill Steel and Darth go back. They want to try and get that possession back and then come forward for another attack. A really nice attempt coming out from Bravado. Tries to turn the momentum around, but I mean, they've done all the work that they needed to. So yeah, waves, my friend. Waves
indeed, I like it. And you might be able to see those waves if you join us in Cape Town on the 4th of December. But for right now, it does look like this game should close out with Bravado taking game number 1. So a little bit of a surprise to some of you guys in the voting side of things. We have been running the poll in chat, and it does look like that's actually even leaning more into your guys' favor now. So well done to those of you who have voted correctly thus far. Doesn't mean that that is exactly who's going to win the first qualifier. But a good bout of action, a good lane of the table initially, still very closely fought between both these teams.
Yeah, the big thing is you never really know from the first game how the rest of the series is going to progress. You know, Pirates XD is one of the teams that actually, with their very high skill ceiling, they tend to go for ambitious plays when they're not quite warmed up or feeling out their opponents yet. And sometimes it goes awry, sometimes it messes up a rotation. You know, little things like that can open up goals. And so they often do drop that first game. The big thing is they succeed in longer series. They're the slightly more consistent team overall after that warm-up. This is a best of 5. This is a very short series, and so a single game already against them could actually be a lot of pressure straight away. It's not to say that they're unused to having pressure, but Bravado doing a really good job of setting up that first game for themselves.
100%. And talking about that pressure, I mean, overall, in terms of the scene, as well as consistently being able to handle this at a massive scale when it comes down to prize pools, we've been seeing huge opportunities across the board for South African players. Now, measuring up to that test of being consistent, who are the main teams overall in the scene? I know we had ATK forfeiting last night, unfortunately, as they couldn't follow through on the fixture, but they'll be back, I'm very sure, for second qualifier. But where do you see this? Is there 4 teams really contending for the title? Is it 5, 6, 7? How closely contested are the top of our tables at the moment?
That's the weird thing, is you've got Bravado and Orlando Pirates sitting very much at the top, and then there's quite a deficit. And then you suddenly have a bunch of teams who are really starting to rise up. New names coming to the scene. We've seen the likes of people like Anarchy coming in recently. Inferno doing pretty well themselves. We've got teams like Mist hanging there and thereabouts in this competition. And then you start to get to the real big names. You get Lost Legion Giants, ATK that you talked about previously. They came into the semifinals for this. And so, you know, made their way through a good amount of qualifiers. You've got people like that Atomic, who is sitting now in the lower brackets, waiting for one of these teams. We have about 3 or 4 teams outside of the top 2 that are going to be really fighting for those positions into Cape Town.
Yeah, talking about fighting for those positions. So I love to hear that it's very closely contested. It always makes for an interesting scene, and you never know what team is going to blow hot and cold. And that's where, when it comes down to the LAN environment as well, it's a little bit of a different mixture altogether. But look at that already. Pirates start off with an absolute flyer, and it's Skill Steal that jumps on in.
I love that. A really nice slow play around the outside, taking advantage. Orlando Pirates very, very good at kickoff goals. And so picking that up in the first 6 seconds is fast for even for them, but certainly not surprising. And here they're going to go for a second attempt. Snowy going to read this out of the corner, trying for an optimistic touch, doesn't get it, and instead it falls down to Daisy. And Daisy now has the opportunity. This is where Bravado is really picking up their skills. Yeah. They've got so many people who can make play after play to die for, going on a solo mission, being the last man back, and still making it be a threatening opportunity. Still Snowy back into the attack, and action straight away, right? Off the first kickoff.
Straight away, Pirates don't want to be able to have a deficit at any single point, despite it seemingly being the norm at times. But we've got Skill still putting this up, and it does look like we've got them moving in towards the Bravado goal line. Yet again, Pirates are piling on the pressure.
Yeah, and this is where they get their real strength. You talk about what dominates the scene, and in South Africa, weirdly enough, we're a very defense-focused nation. I think it comes down to the fact that we all learnt on 200 ping. You couldn't go for crazy defensive plays and read them and win 50s all the time. So we started playing defensively at the top, and our attacks aren't always the strongest. So a team with a really good counter-attack power can do wonders, or a team who can just overwhelm the defenders with lots of pressure, and that's what Pirates XD do. They keep this ball in the blue half over and over. You've got these constant rotations going back, and even when Tadafo takes it long, it's instantly picked up back into Snowy's possession. And look at this, he's back to the other side of the field on no boost.
Yeah, no boost at all, but eventually will get taken out there. But it does look like the Pirates line hasn't been really tested during this game thus far, and really showing that pressure that you talked about. And now it's going to be completely up. Ooh, huge plays. Was that to die for?
That was Snowy. 3 touches in the air to hold it above the goal line until it dropped down there. And there are big plays waiting in the wings for both sides. I'd mentioned to Danfor earlier, he has got some incredible individual skills. There's some beautiful passing plays and positional priority coming out from Daisy and Happy Meal. I mean, look at this. Daisy comes off the roof and dribbles it at pace just below the crossbar.
Let's see this again as Daisy works his way up the wall ride and taps it over. Skill still just left to be a spectator like the rest of us. as it's going to be Bravado Gaming that tie things up. And we're talking about pressure a little bit earlier on. How are these teams going to be able to handle it? Pirates, they're staring down a very dangerous game at the moment with one game down, and it's a best out of 5. It's very much on.
Yeah, that's the thing, is that first game is just like, all right, shake it off, warm-up game, and then suddenly you put into a level possession like this, and they're going to be able to squeeze it out. Snowy going to pick up a luxurious long goal. Their beautiful pass pop to get it around to die for there from Skillsteel, and Skillsteel gives the honors to Snowy, working together with the teammate that earned them that 1-goal lead in a much more comfortable position instantly for Orlando Pirates.
All right, so Orlando Pirates get that goal lead advantage back in hand as we pass the halfway mark. It's going to be Skillsteel down the right-hand side for Pirates. Tries to get that one across, but it's a counter-attacking opportunity. It's Snowy. Unfortunately for him, not going to be able to find the back of the net there.
Skillsteel's got it high, he's got it long. Daisy's going to have to pick it up and does nicely. Still got Snowy waiting on the wings, but Daisy gets boss 2. Daisy gets boss 3. This is going long. Skillsteel going to have to do some work. Happy Meal looking for the pass across. Cut off by Snowy. And Darth going to try to force that out. And in fact, it pinches in an advantageous way. Orlando Pirates turn this around into an offensive opportunity. Skillsteel gets it.
Doubling the lead there for Pirates now as Skillsteel essentially pinches his way into that one. Nice off the backboard. He was ready to pounce and splits it between the two Bravado defensive players. Great play there from Pirates.
Man, this is quick executing plays. This is real. Take advantage of any little opportunities that you get. If you manage to get a touch and turn it around, another powerful shot coming out there from Snowy. This Orlando Pirates, you worried about what their fortitude was going to look like after that first game. Beautiful touch from Bravado, though, to send it back to die for. Gets 1 goal back.
How was that tip over just on the bonnet of the car, just deceiving his opposite number there. Skips past and then just gets the touch in front to get away from Skillsteel. Bravado Gaming aren't giving up without a fight here. They know that they've got that 1-game lead and they're going to throw everything that they can at it.
Yeah, this is intensity. This is now 2 teams that are starting to fight tooth and nail. You know, Orlando Pirates managing to get that extra goal have just turned up the pace of Bravado, and they were able to match it through some great plays, and they've got another opportunity here to die for. Going to challenge Darth. No, Daisy going to have to put it up and over. Skillsteel slots it back towards the center, but no one really wants to commit for that right now as the 2 teams just tussle out in the middle. Nice aggressive bump came out from Daisy at that stage. Happy Meal getting interesting with some mechanics, finding to die for in the air, and then he tries to find it back towards the center. Going to be covered out by Snowy. Hasn't jumped very well, but goes underneath Daisy. And Skillsteel going to be left to clean it up. Actually misses this. This could create another opportunity to Darth for waiting there, but Darth relieves the pressure.
Yeah, just putting up against that backboard. Happy Meal earlier just not being able to find that angle, but at the moment it's going to be Pirates trying to pile on that pressure. Happy Meal needs to try and get this one out to the back. They get a nice little skip in front of the goalpost. This could be dangerous. The pass comes through. It's a huge opportunity, but will the follow-up come in? No, it's not going to be enough for Bravado Gaming as they pound and pounce near by the goal line, but not going to be able to find their mark just yet. However, the danger keeps on coming, and it's to die for with the goal as Bravado equalize with 40 seconds on the clock.
This was one of the most scrappy defenses out of Orlando Pirates I've ever seen. Skillsteel and Darth both half commit for that ball. Neither manages to come out with the touch on it, and they're left kind of sitting 3 people back to back in their own goals as death reigns from above, and Bravado managing to level up the game and effectively look to put Orlando Pirates in 30 seconds on game or at least series point.
All right, so sudden death looms in the background as it is going to be the goal line of Pirates that will get pushed here. As the die for comes up from above, it is the demo, as you mentioned, coming out. But now it's going to be the opposite side. Bravado needs to play a little bit of defense.
Daisy doing really well. Chips it actually. Darth is put into a bad position. Collects it on the goal line. 7 seconds left, and it's Bravado putting on the aggression. Skillsteel manages to get it out. Happy Meal has 1 more attempt. Actually manages to pop it up high. To die for waiting there. Has mechanics pushed it down instead. And we're going to our first overtime. A 2nd game in. And suddenly Bravado have all the momentum. This is where Orlando Pirates likes to shine. They like to get aggressive with these starting goals and decide to just play it safe.
Alright, playing it safe is going to be a dangerous game regardless. It seems like no matter what your move is, your opposition's ready to try and counter that. Daisy's now trying to skip this over his opposite number, but it's going to be Darth coming up with the defensive clutch. And now it's all about trying to keep possession. Pirates are going to be on the attack, and it's a top left corner shot from Pirates.
That was huge. Tadafo did very well to cut that off in midfield. Just put it really nice and high. And even with the desperate defender diving in, Daisy was there. The rotations were there from Bravado, but that little touchdown with Skill Steal slotting it in at the end. Reactionary play between the two of them. And it carries Orlando Pirates through in a closer margin than I think they would be comfortable with. But it levels up the series more importantly.
Wow, how is that? Tied up at 1 apiece. These two teams will not be separated. We will have to go to game number 3 and 4 and 5. I'd love to find out your predictions in the chat of what you think the end score is going to be at this point in time. I feel like we're going to go to sudden death in map number 5 because that's how close it has been between both of these teams.
And that's how close it's been for a while now. That's the scary thing. In the previous RLCS qualifiers this last weekend, in the grand final best of 7, Orlando Pirates had to face down the barrel of the Bravado gun 3-0 and managed to reverse sweep it to bring that back. And so, Orlando Pirates, used to the pressure, maybe sometimes put on by themselves, but Bravado has been there and thereabouts and would love to taste it at this stage. Just like I'm going to taste a Tinky.
Well, yeah, we do actually have some snacks with us here today as well. Obviously, the Tinky's Takeover got announced a little bit earlier, so we've got those to be able to chow down on and enjoy. I hope you guys got yours too. But for right now, it's all about the action on screen. And it does look like a big shot comes over the bar there, but Bravado Gaming need to try get out of the defensive position as Pirates keep the pressure on.
This is huge. A really nice bit of play there from Bravado to keep it out there. Skill still keeping this very dangerous. The hot shot comes down as Greybeard calls it the African bounce. A beautiful name for it, for a great shot, but denied out. And it allows Bravado to start mounting an offense of their own. It's popped up. Stafo's waiting. He realizes he's not going to be Darth to it. And Darth carrying it very proficiently over the top. Eventually runs out of steam. Let's pop back. Happy Meal's got one touch. Has he got the second? No, denied out.
Alright, so now at the moment it is going to be Bravado Gaming that essentially have an attacking opportunity. Can they skip this one past Skill Steal? Does look like they'll get an opportunity, but Snowy is the one that reverts to the top right-hand corner for the save. And it is going to be, a goal line clearance as well. So Bravado Gaming piling on some good pressure at the moment.
A really nice back and forth. Suddenly Orlando Pirates into the attack, then Bravado takes it away. A single play from Daisy, a good 50, push it one way or the other. Skill Steal, gonna read it up, he's gonna put it down. It's a beautiful shot from Skill Steal, winning out this 50. Here is Snowy, and Skill Steal making no mistake, cutting across the goal to slot that into the corner.
So now it's going to be Pirates with the advantage, and Bravado, we haven't seen them successfully turn the advantage around like the Pirates have thus far, so let's see what they're going to be able to do here. But it does look like the goal line will get, essentially the door will be knocked at, and it's all about how long can Bravado keep them off their doorstep.
Yeah, I mean, Bravado's looked good when they've been able to put on the pressure. When they're controlling the game, you give some space to Tadafo to start getting some mechanical prowess. Daisy looking to throw it high, but Orlando Pirates surrounding and suffocating the side of Bravado right now. And just really, even when it chips out like this, Skill Steal's back, seems to have good control, takes an assessment of the field, gets one touch, gets two, put it over to Tadafo. In fact, that's a bad touch off to Tadafo. Darth going to try to put it down. A little bit optimistic in his jump, but it's left open. Snowy going to try for another one. Soft shot puts it wide, and Orlando Pirates back into building more pressure.
Alright, so it's going to be Pirates now as they try to chip this one over the halfway line. It's going to be Snowy that tries to get the pass across. Ooh, charges down, but will not be able to come out with the connection that he needed. And we've got a demo on screen, so that's going to give Pirates an opportunity to try get this one in the back. But it's going to be just a little too short with 2 minutes 10 on the clock. Bravado Gaming need to turn this one, but it's Snowy that comes in and relieves a little bit of pressure from the Pirates team.
And this is where that demo that you talked about really came in, was that Darth could jump into the air. Happy Meal didn't really have their bearings to come back and try and follow up on anything. And so Darth being able to push that towards the center creates that minuscule overlap. And that's what it's taking to win these games between these two teams. Orlando Pirates has hit hard and often, but it's that sort of play that eventually comes out the difference between these two teams. And 2 minutes left on the clock. There is still time for Bravado to do this. They are not without their opportunities of their own, but so far not able to put in a goal this game. And if I'm not mistaken, no, the last game, remember, it came down to a very quick turnaround. So there's always that opportunity.
There is indeed, as at the moment it is going to be Pirates with the advantage, and it's going to be Bravado with an all too difficult story ahead of them at the moment. I mean, tied up at 1 apiece, and Pirates, we've seen them come from those backgrounds of what you mentioned previously, is like just time and time again not being able to convert. And do you think it's just Bravado not, I don't know, it's those critical moments, they're just not connecting?
There's a couple of touches that are going amiss. They're difficult touches, but they're touches that they have made in the past, that they do make consistently, but have not made every time that it counts. And they're getting so few of those opportunities now that Bravado, I mean, it's only a 2-goal game. This is not exactly a 7-8 thriller right now. It's a really tight game, and Bravado just letting, like, that was a prime opportunity go awry. Happy Meal setting up for another one to die for, is up, raised it off the backboard. That's an opportunity that's not going to go amiss.
Yeah, and Bravado Gaming now with a huge opportunity to try to get back in with only 48 seconds left on the clock, or was that 49 seconds left on the clock? They've got a little bit of time, and you never know. Bravado, you mentioned they're kind of the kickoff specialist.
Yeah, both these sides look very aggressive, and Snowy's going to be the one to actually pick it up. It takes away that venom from Bravado. They're going to retaliate, though, by, if we can't kill you with subtlety, we'll kill you with force, and bludgeons through the defender. Still trying to connect a couple of passes together. A little bit scrappy, though. Hands the ball off to the other side of the field, and Snowy just going to start building up some pressure, steal some boost, and starts draining the resources here from Bravado. And that's all they need to do at this stage. 25 seconds left on the clock is just a time game for Orlando Pirates. They would love to get a consolation extra surety goal that Skill Steel's going to look for here, but they don't need to. Just keep the ball safe on the other side of the field, and 10 seconds left. That should be all that it needs.
All right, so that is it. Well, I don't want to say that. I've said that in too many casts where I've said that is it, and there was another big moment. Snowy just wants to put this one down, and they'll get another consolation goal for their effort there as Pirates XD pick up another round there, and now are just one game away from progressing through to the grand finals.
Yep. Bravado had that skill, they had the good consistency in that first game, but they don't seem to have raised their level in the same way that Orlando Pirates has done. Orlando Pirates XD started a little bit shaky, they were missing a couple of the touches, and then they started to put them together. They started communicating well, looking for those long passes, looking for really nice aerial plays to start cracking the back line of Bravado. Bravado just couldn't step up. They got some opportunities towards the other side of the field, not as many as they would have liked because of the oppressive pressure of Orlando Pirates. But when they got there, just only the one time going into the back of the net out of the 4 shots. Still, Pirates XD coming out with a total of 11 shots just really epitomizes what they were doing in the back line, forcing it into that blue goal.
Yeah, and Pirates, I think when momentum's in their favor, it's very difficult to slow them down. And from Bravado's gaming side of things, they've got a little bit of work ahead of them. So we're going to have to wait and see what is going to take place. Also, one thing I just want to be able to note, I do know that there have been some frame drops reported. We'll make sure that we just get a reset after this match, but we'll continue with the action that we have for us and make sure that you get to be able to see each and every single second that we can capture for you initially and get that reset going into our losers bracket match. But for right now, it is time to finish off. Or potentially, who knows? We've got Bravado with a potential reverse sweep on our hands.
Yeah, and it's not a team that can't do this. They have looked close. Both of these last 2 games have come down to just a single goal in essence. So we've got some opportunities for this Bravado side to come back. They've looked strong. They are getting some really nice inventive plays to die for, going for some interesting pinches. You've got Daisy going up into the air a couple of times. Happy Meal looking dangerous off the backboard. This is a Bravado side that has started to develop some real synergy, considering that they're not the most longevity team on the scene.
Yeah, and from Bravado, once again, we mentioned about how they can be off to a fantastic fly of a start. They managed to hold that out in game number 1, but going into this game now, can they keep those defensive boundaries? It does look like Pirates is building that consistency of just keeping that pressure piled on. And as you mentioned a little bit earlier, that's almost like the Achilles heel at this point in time of the Bravado squad, is that they just can't handle that continued pressure. And this is where it's going to be Pirates to be able to step up and see if they can keep following through. But Foma actually comes all the way from the back line, tries to come up with a cheeky goal, but unfortunately not able to connect.
My goodness, I was terrified I was missing the action, and Bravado had actually taken up a goal so far. I actually really enjoy watching bots. It's a nice thing. It's like a Zen garden. It moves around and around, and you don't know what's going to do to get a touch. There's just this random chaos everywhere. Slider should save this. By all rights, Slider should save this. And he just doesn't. And it just, like, it's exposure therapy for anxiety. I swear.
Yeah, I was a bit confused there for a second too, as it does look like we've got a little bit of a disconnect from the teams taking place. So we'll make sure that we drop back to the action in just a bit. We have had a couple of connection problems, unfortunately. So I'll double check from our side. We're going to cut to a very short intermission, ladies and gentlemen, and we'll just pick up with the action in game number 4. It is Bravado Gaming taking on Pirates. Hey there, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the cast. As we've got the teams getting ready on their side of things, we're just going to go to a short break as promised. Use this opportunity to essentially get things reset. You know, how do you fix a PC? You turn it off and on again. So we're going to make sure that we can cut to the break. We'll be right back in a second, hopefully with no issues. Touch some wood, cross those fingers, and we'll be back with that game number 1. It is the winners bracket final. Bravado taking on Pirates. We'll see you in a bit. Well as their in-game identity. The next step is to invite your opposition, play your game, and finally report the score on the ACGL website. And that's it. Matchfinders made simple. Welcome to the ACGL Matchfinders. The ACGL Matchfinder places two participants or teams up against one another in a heads-up competition. Matchfinders offer one of the quickest ways for you to be able to rank up on the ACGL platform and stand out as one of the best players. Matchfinders only operate during set times, which are from 7 PM to 10 PM on weekdays and from 5 PM to 10 PM on weekends. During those aforementioned times, you can click Find Match on your Matchfinder of choice. Should there be opposition players also searching at the same time, Hey there, everybody, and welcome back. Unfortunately, on the side of us, we had a little bit of a fiber outage, which means that our broadcast is having the connection issues, as you very much can feel right now on your side of things. And then, on top of that, the layer cake got added that the servers are actually down for Rocket League as well. So we're going to postpone broadcast for right now. Make sure that you keep an eye out on the @African Gaming socials. We'll keep you updated on that end. But for right now, we're going to come call an end to the broadcast, and we'll keep you updated with the rest of the action as soon as we have more news and confirmations from our side. Thanks for your patience, everybody. We'll be back as soon as we can be. Cheers.